It never crossed my mind that I could do music for a living. It was just something that I did as a child, as a teenager, and never thought I was good at it. But I knew I was different. When my friends were playing outside, I would prefer to stay at home and work at my little projects. I didn't have any equipment back then beside of my out-of-tune piano. I would take what was lying around the house, like a radio, tape recorders, and figure out how to make use of them. This was a time without YouTube or Google. You just had to figure out stuff for yourself. Towards the last year of high school, at one afternoon, my music teacher spoke to my mother, and he suggested that I would study music. And my mom replied that if I would be interested, she would consider it. It was just small talk. I was standing nearby pretending I wouldn't hear the conversation. It's funny how certain moments in life we remember, something so insignificant, so random, and yet I keep wondering, what if I just had spoken up and said, yes, music, that is what I want to do. I was too young to see it as passion, and the seed was never planted that I could actually do what I love for a living. I was raised by a single parent, so of course everything was about practicality. This was also the time when internet was booming and computer technology was becoming more and more accessible for the masses. And so I ended up studying computer science. Of course, a fascination was there about computer technology, especially when I discovered how to make music with computers. When I think about it, I always challenge myself how to make music out of some equipment. So my motivation in learning something is how I can use a technology to serve me. And so I went on studying computer science, and I slowly found out that I had more interest in the non-computer science subjects than computer science. And I ended up shifting my course to information management, which is a mix between management and IT. And I would then also even more find out that I was more interested into management. While I was studying, I would still make music on my crappy self-built computer, and then I would discover the possibilities of sharing music online when Friendster and MySpace came. Facebook was still unknown, and then later of course YouTube came, and then I would start doing music videos with a webcam. After coming back to Switzerland, since I studied in the Philippines, which is a story for another time, I was looking for a job, fresh out of school with no work experience. After a few months of applying, I finally got a chance at the IT company. Of course I was happy because it was my first job and my first salary, and I stayed there until now. And to think about it, it's almost a decade ago. Over the years the thoughts kept creeping up again if I did the right choices, up to a point that these thoughts would follow me every single day in the office. Is this it? Is this here the end of my journey? Are the hours that I spend in this office, does it do something good to someone, to the world, to me? Sometimes we feel stuck if we entertain such questions. When we are fixated on the things that are not perfect in our life, we unknowingly dismiss the possibilities of what we can do. Some days are harder than others to stay motivated and to look beyond our responsibilities and duties. But one thing I cannot allow myself is to give up striving for something better and to challenge myself to aim for something higher, whatever that may be. Am I a dreamer? Sure. I think we are all born dreamers, but some just got hurt along the way and gave up. Remember when we were kids, we dared to dream big. We wanted to be Superman, we wanted to be an astronaut, or the best soccer player in the world. And as we grow older, our dreams became smaller and smaller until we got contented with an office job. If you would meet your 10-year-old self today, what would you tell him or her? How would you explain yourself not protecting his or her dreams? But you know that child is still there with you. It is the inner child that holds our unpursued dreams. So remember being a dreamer. So since I wonder and ponder about life almost every day, I came up with strategies how I keep myself motivated in my job. Disclaimer: I don't hate my job, so please don't fire me. Remember thy blessings. When I started in the Philippines, I would walk to school. It was a 15 to 30 minutes walk, depending on which route I would take. And every day I would see these street children and people that were living on the streets. I am an observant person, and being exposed to that contrast of life on a daily basis did make an impact on me and how I view things. This daily experience also inspired me into street photography. It is easier to see what you have if you are surrounded by people who have less. Living in Switzerland sometimes feels like we are too isolated to the rest of the world. We can go about our lives with little variation, almost blindly. Everything has a structure, a process, everything is on time. The quality and standard of living is probably one of the highest in the world. And yet in this perfection there is little that would break our daily routine for us to stop and think and realize how blessed we are. Sometimes it takes more active effort to remember our blessings, especially when we are fixated on the small problems we have. We have to learn how to snap out of it and see the big picture in relation to the rest of the world. Number 2, don't use your job as an excuse for not pursuing your passion. We always hear those rags to riches stories about artists that had nothing, coming from a poor, disadvantaged family. But because they fight through life using their talents, they become superstars. They used their gifts to survive. They didn't have the luxury of choice and couldn't afford to be afraid. We are blessed to have a relatively comfortable life. Of course, we have our struggles, but we have a roof over our heads and food. There is no survival need for us to step out of our comfort zone. So it is easy for us to fall into procrastination and excuses. It is great that you have a job. It means that you are responsible. We all have bills to pay, but you are also responsible for your dreams and the things you care about. Number 3, see your job as your hobby and your hobby as your job. This is a mindset exercise I do. There are mornings that I really don't feel motivated to even get on the bus to the way to the office. And instead of focusing on the negative, I train my mind to think that I go to work for fun. Because I'm bloody bored and I just want to experience what normal people do. It is all a game. And sometimes it feels like a game. It's all good as long as you don't take everything too seriously, in terms of don't let it get to you personally. Because once I get out of that office, that's when my real job starts. This exercise challenges me to give time to the things that I care about. We are willing to show up at our jobs every morning and spend at least 8 hours every single day, and we even feel bad when we are sick. Yet we cannot do the same for the things we love. It is your job to work on your dreams, so show up every day and get in charge. Number 4, shift your career. Sometimes we might not like our job and we look too soon for opportunities outside the company, when there might be possibilities and opportunities within your present company, in another team or another department. I've been working as an IT specialist for a while now, and currently I am exploring shifting to project management. As I mentioned before, already in school I had more interest in management than IT. I guess what motivates me to go in that direction is I feel it is more rewarding for me in helping people in a direct way. There is no perfect job, but as long as you find something that is still rewarding to you and you feel like you are serving a purpose, then I think this is a good compromise. It might still not be your dream job, but as long as you are growing, then it might still be worth it to stick with it. Number 5, just quit. But before you do, please subscribe to this channel. Read this book, The Dip by Seth Godin. It is a well-recommended book and it helped me a lot. After you have read that book and you still feel like quitting, then you probably should. Thank you for watching. If you have any suggestions, questions, or you have some strategies yourself, then feel free to comment them below. Bye. Peace.